It's Monday, February 24th, right now on 12 News at 10.
I'm Gabriella Becerra. In surprise, a swarm of bees sends a neighborhood running for cover. How people are describing this chaotic attack.
I'm Chase Golightly in Cave Creek, where another school is set to close, even after parents were told it wasn't. So what led to the reversal? We'll tell you coming up.
We'll hear from the Tucson man who had the moment of a lifetime at Innings Festival, taking the stage to play a song with the Killers.
You felt it out there today, and our temperature trend continues with much warmer than normal temperatures, when spring is finally going to start feeling like spring with my weather impact forecast.
12 News at 10 with Mark Curtis and Caribe Divine starts now.
We begin tonight with a terrifying situation that played out this evening in a West Valley neighborhood. A swarm of bees attacked, sending one man to the hospital and leaving several others running for help. Good evening and thanks so much for joining us. For 12 News at 10, I'm Caribe Divine.
I'm Mark Curtis. In total, 10 people were stung, including 5 kids and 4 firefighters. 12 News journalist Gabriella Becerra is in Surprise near Greenway and Cotton Lane with how neighbors are describing the attack.
The wash in this Surprise neighborhood is now taped off after at least 10 people were attacked by a swarm of bees. Take a look. We can see the honeycomb on top of the lid of a water meter. Firefighters use foam to spray down the area, and now dead bees are scattered on the ground.
I'm still shaking. It was just like, ooh.
A West Valley neighborhood is left shaken after this hive of bees suddenly attacked.
Very chaotic.
Surprise Fire Department says a man was checking his mail when the swarm of bees turned aggressive and stung him multiple times. He went running for help.
He's standing on my porch saying, help me, help me, help me. And I'm like, what's the matter? And he's like, there's bees on me.
Lisa Gray tells us she called 911 as neighbors sprayed him down with water.
I could see that they were on his back and he was just pulling on his clothes.
Officials say that man has a large number of stings and was taken to the hospital.
It was scary because we didn't know whether to go toward it or not.
On the other side of the wash, a group of kids on bikes rode right into the swarm.
Heard somebody screaming, help me, help me, help me.
First responders rushed the kids into fire trucks for a quick escape.
I seen the boy running and batting at his head and had a sweatshirt over his head, took off running and screaming even louder.
5 kids were stung, but officials say none were allergic and their parents took them home. 4 firefighters were also stung. Leandra Edwards says the bees spanned across the neighborhood.
One neighbor came driving up and she had bees in her car and she jumped out and I was helping her get them out of her hair. And then one came and stuck my husband in the head.
A beekeeper helped assess the situation, and it appears firefighters used foam to stop the attack.
I know they took care of it, so hopefully it won't happen again.
The man who was taken to the hospital is expected to be okay. In Surprise, Gabriella Becerra, 12 News.
All right, Gabby, thank you. Tonight, 2 companies are facing penalties after a contractor fell to his death last November. John Michael Olver was working on a crane at the APS Red Hawk power plant in Arlington when he tripped and fell over a guardrail, landing headfirst 18 feet below. ADOSH has issued citations to both APS, which owns the plant, and Bayvalve, Olver's employer, fining both companies just over $11,000. It comes after investigators found that the guardrail was at the work site was 11 inches shorter than standards require, a flaw Olver's family believes was fatal. They're hoping that it prompts industry-wide changes.
Just knowing that it was preventable, that we know 100% that this accident was preventable.
I would like to know that they're going to take necessary measures to be sure that never happens to anybody else. I don't want anybody to go through what we're going through.
And we reached out to APS asking if any changes were made to the facility following the accident, but they said they cannot comment until ADOSH's full findings are released.
For the second time in the last 3 days, police are investigating a crime outside of a QT gas station near 27th Avenue in Thomas. This time, it was a fatal stabbing outside the gas station last night. First responders took the man to the hospital, but he later died from his injuries. So far, police have not released the name of the victim. They also haven't said if they're still looking for a suspect.
New at 10, a Valley School District has changed its mind about closing one of its schools. In a 3-2 vote, Cave Creek Unified School District approved shutting down a second elementary school starting next school year. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly is live in Cave Creek, where he spoke with parents who were just told about this a few weeks ago and that it wasn't going to happen. So how are they feeling about this reversal?
Well, Caribe, from the ones that we spoke with tonight, some of them actually shedding tears with this decision, saying that they're angry and frustrated. But what it came down to was one governing board member changing her mind, and that was enough to have this school shut down. Now, their reasoning as to why they flip-flopped was they said if this closure didn't happen, then programs at all of the district schools would have to be cut, and teachers would also be laid off. Weeks after the Cave Creek Unified School District voted to not close down Lone Mountain Elementary,
motion passes.
The governing board reversed course.
It's just heartbreaking because it is an amazing school.
It was a packed special meeting in Cave Creek with half of the room angry that the board is voting on this issue again after they breathed a sigh of relief that the school wouldn't shut down.
I cannot express how completely cruel it was to give our community this hope and then take it away.
We are making a decision that will uproot students, disrupt families, and reshape our district for years.
Benjamin Petru has 2 kids at Lone Mountain. With this decision, he's now looking at other schools.
And unfortunately, we're touring other districts because we have just lost trust.
Lone Mountain, along with Desert Sun Academy, will shut down at the end of this academic year, with students going to neighboring schools in the district, all to make up $2.5 million that was cut from the district's budget because of declining enrollment. Board members said if they didn't make this decision, then programs like art, music, and others would have to be cut at all schools, with teachers and counselors out of a job.
Tough decisions must be made.
Which is why on the other side of the meeting, you had parents wanting the school to close to keep those programs. Otherwise, they would leave.
The only decision that will allow us to begin healing as a community is to close Lone Mountain Elementary and Desert Sun Academy.
We risk compromising the very foundation of our children's education.
8th grade teacher Chris Hazeltine says he hates to see any school close, but believes if this didn't happen, the whole district would be in trouble.
Because to do less is going to sink us.
Now, for the past few months, we've been covering several school districts here in the Valley that are in this same exact problem, either having to shut down schools or laying off teachers. So today I did reach out to the House Education Committee to find out if state lawmakers are doing anything to prevent other schools from shutting down. But at this time, I have not received a response. Of course, we'll continue to follow this story as it develops. For now, we're live in Cave Creek. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
Chase, thanks. Tomorrow night, the Phoenix Elementary School District will hold a public meeting over the possibility of closing 2 schools. The meeting will be at one of the schools they're ironically thinking of closing, the Paul Lawrence Dunbar School. At 5:15, the meeting will take place. The district says it would save about $2 million by closing both the Dunbar and the Hurd elementary schools and leasing the buildings out. The move would force about 500 students to move to a different school if it's approved.
New at 10, we're hearing from a Valley woman who has been working to get her small business off the ground, only to have her hard work stolen. 23-year-old Jade Greer tells us that she recently bought a small trailer with the goal of turning it into a mobile coffee shop. She was in the final stages of getting it ready for business until it was stolen from the side of her house. Phoenix police say that it happened overnight this past weekend near 79th Avenue and Lower Buckeye Road.
Where I'm at now is, regardless of whether I find it or not, I'm not going to stop pursuing building my coffee trailer or my coffee shop. But it definitely was not it really was not a good feeling at all.
There is a GoFundMe to help Jade continue building her business. We have a link posted on our website at 12news.com.
On a much brighter note, imagine going to see your favorite band in concert and then suddenly you're called up on stage and invited to actually play along with the band.
Yeah, it sounds like something that only happens in a dream, right? Well, but for one Arizona man, that dream came true this weekend. 12 News journalist Bianca Bono talked to that man and is joining us live in studio. And Bianca, how did all this happen?
Yeah, the Killers played at Innings Festival in Tempe over the weekend, and they're known for sometimes inviting a lucky fan on stage to play a song with them. Christian Barola from Tucson told me he is such a big fan of the band that he literally learned to play the drums hoping it would happen to him, and lo and behold, it did.
I first saw them back in 2010.
Christian Barola is talking about the Killers. And ever since, it's been his favorite band.
My whole family loves the Killers.
He's traveled to cities like San Diego, Las Vegas, and Seattle to see them in concert, connected to more than just their music.
It relates to my whole life. Every lyric makes me feel like the nostalgia back home, growing up, you know.
And Barola himself is a musician, playing piano and guitar since he was 8 years old.
I always wanted to be famous musician, right? That was my dream growing up.
The Killers are known to oftentimes invite a lucky fan on stage to play drums alongside them as they perform their song for reasons unknown. Barola realized it was a way he could make his dream a reality. The only problem, he didn't play the drums. So 1.5 years ago, he decided to learn.
I'm gonna learn how to play drums. I'm gonna make it my goal to play with the Killers. That was my goal. That's what I set out to do.
Every day for at least 15 minutes a day, Barola practiced.
And I practiced that song thousands of times every single day.
And when the Killers were booked to headline Innings Festival in Tempe, Barola felt that was his best shot. So he and his family went. And as the band started that song, he held up his sign. What did the sign say?
I'm the man to play the drums. And it's in reference to one of their songs.
Despite others holding up signs too, it was Barola's that caught lead singer Brandon Flowers' attention.
Say hello to Christian from Tucson, Arizona. Yeah!
Before he knew it,
I check my face. I look a little bit older.
He was on stage playing the drums alongside his favorite band in front of tens of thousands of people.
Christian, so far so good.
Once he picked me, I don't know what happened, honestly. It just happened like a dream. It happened too fast. I went out there and I just did my thing. Looking back, I feel pretty proud. I think I did pretty good.
And the crowd thought so too. Erupting as the Arizonan who dreamt of this moment lived it.
That's like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I think it's the best day of my life.
How cool is that? And he did so well. I was so impressed, and it was so great talking to him. But to no surprise, Christian is in a band himself. It's called Collective Mind, if you want to check them out. And he also wants to issue a huge thank you, of course, to the Killers and to all of those amazing people in the crowd at the festival who cheered him on. We're live in studio tonight. Bianca Bono, 12 News.
That is such a cool story.
And how about that he learned to play the drums just for this off chance that they would call him up?
And only 1.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. I would be so nervous, but he did amazing. Wow. What a great story. Thanks, Bianca.